guys, it's your boy Normally from Sweden, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the long lost and forgotten websites of CS2. Basically, we're taking a look at the now defunct best ever websites we had for CS2, CSGO, and trading in general, and many of these websites actually helped build up what CS skins are today. Very cool. But before we take a look at that, I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is CS Money. CS Money is a trusted trading site and marketplace where you can quickly trade for a brand new loadout in just a couple of seconds. They have reduced prices in the trade mode and a huge selection of filters for their over 1 million skins listed that have instant delivery. They've got many payment methods like cards, PayPal, crypto, and much more, and you can always trade your skins if you can't deposit. Their market mode also has a feature with lower prices and discounts, as well as an instant sell feature where they recently increased prices on user skins so you can insta sell them and receive more cash to spend on skins or cash out. So make sure you try out CS Money from the link in the description, and thank you CS Money for sponsoring. Now let's get back to the video. Now, starting off with, in my opinion, definitely one of the most important CS sites we ever had, because it helped bring skins to real money value. We have OP skins. Now, obviously, all the footage I'll be using in this video is old footage, because basically all of these websites no longer work, so I can't get any new footage. Now, OP skins was, in my opinion, the best marketplace for CS ever, and that's including all the marketplaces we have today. The process of selling your skins was incredibly easy. You would just go on the site, click your stat track Karambit Tiger Tooth, click sell, and there was a button where you could price it 1% lower than the lowest listed on OP skins at that point. This made it super easy for people to always have their skins be the lowest listed, ensuring they'd sell much quicker. They had every single rare skin you can imagine, every single knife and glove. Imagine like the Chinese marketplaces today, but it was the only marketplace and it was in the West. Absolutely insane. In my opinion, OP skins to some extent made trading what it is today. We went from item for item trading, which used to be the norm, to now you could just sell your skins for real money and buy the next skin you wanted. Because nowadays we don't have much trading, we basically just have cash trading. Before OP skins, it was kind of hard to cash out because it involved a lot of trust. It usually involved keys. You would basically trade your, for example, Flip Tiger for keys and then sell those keys to someone for real money, and that transaction also included trust, right? Overall, OP skins was just a legendary website, which I'm sad to see gone, but in all fairness, when the original creators, the original owners of OP skins sold the site to like an investment group or something, things went downhill very quickly. After OP skins got sold, the new owners tried to incorporate real world items like sneakers or clothing through StockX. You could basically trade your skins for anything you can find on StockX, like sneakers or trading cards or Labubu's, just anything. Funnily enough, that's actually how I started with sneakers. I remember vividly, I had a Karambit Doppler, I guess it was a phase 3. I would trade it onto OP skins and then get balance on site, and I used that money to buy a pair of Jordan 1s, and I thought, hey, that's really cool, you know what, that's really cool. And then I kinda spiraled out of control. And I remember I took some of the money from that Karambit along with some other skins that I traded in, and I purchased one of these from OP skins. It's a carpet, and this carpet actually ended up like tripling in value or even more. Maybe we should just invest in carpets instead. Rod would love that. Next website is Metjm. Now, you might not have heard of Metjm because this is really long ago. This was a revolutionary website for taking screenshots of your skins without having to start the game. Now, it seems pretty obvious that if you go on a trading site or whatever, you could just Ursus Marble Fade if you're gonna trade for it. You can see exactly what that pattern looks like from a screenshot on the site. Well, that wasn't always the case, and Metjm is actually the first site that made a screenshot engine. You can see this tweet was posted 10 years ago when Metjm was first released, and they said, public service announcement, there's a site that inspects and screenshots skins for you without having to get in game, and it's Metjm. And yeah, even though you may not have heard of Metjm, this is what it looked like, and it was pretty rudimentary. You would just get your inspect link and it would make a screenshot from that skin. For example, I know my friend Hayes actually got scammed, I think 3 times from fake Karambit Marble Fade Fire and Ices. They would say the knife was a Fire and Ice and they would show pictures like this, but then when they actually sent the trade, it would look like this. If Hayes had used Metjm to get a screenshot, even though he accepted the trade on phone, he would have seen that he was about to get scammed. Next site really hits close to home. We're gonna talk about CS Offer. Oh, fuck. This is basically what CS Offer looked like, and the reason it hit so close to home is because it was my site. It was half owned by me and half owned by the developer who made the site, and he just approached me one day and said, hey, I've got this site, it's fully working, functional, and we already have an inventory. We would just need to partner with you for promotion. Would you like to join? And I said, hell yeah, buddy! And let me tell you what, I'm really happy that I accepted it, because back here, there were a lot of different trading sites, but what was so special about CS Offer was that it was my site. And since it was my site, I could promote it however I wanted to, and that opened the gates of productivity and like thinking outside the box. That was really fun. I made an entire video basically exposing myself for being the owner of the site, which was really fun. These videos are still some of my favorites to this day because they're so unhinged and don't really have anything to do with CS. My friend also got a tattoo of our logo. I remember that was so fun. We even have the logo on the car and we put Adidas stripes on it. You could just do the most fun, stupid shit when you were promoting your own site because no one could tell you, no, this is a bad idea. We even had a partnership with Fnatic where we sold official CS Offer merch for a limited time, and it was just a lot of fun. But sadly, when Valve added the 7-day trade hold, then we kind of decided we weren't going to keep going because the market was so unsure. It took a long time for it to recover. We needed to rework a lot of how the site worked, so we just decided we're not going to do that anymore, unfortunately. Man, this brings me back. Next website we're talking about is CSGO Zone. CSGO Zone provided a lot of knowledge and in-depth data about skins. Just to mention some of the insane features CSGO Zone had, they had a high score which for the time was very accurate at calculating how much inventories were worth and having a high score. They had a super accurate fade checker, meaning if you had a fade knife, you could just go in there, plug in the pattern, and then see exactly what percent fade it was, something which back then was pretty difficult to do. And of course, like with the CS Float database we have today, they had a database of their own, which was pretty cool for the time. Back then, there was only 2 sites that had databases. Basically, it was CSGO Zone and it was CSGO Exchange. And both of them did things in their own way, and CSGO Zone, in my opinion, was very good, but low-key. It wasn't that known back then. CSGO Zone then, together with Metjm, made their own Chrome plugin called Steam Wizard, and they implemented a lot of their features in this one, and in my opinion, this tool was super good if you were a trader 10 years ago. Next website is CSGO Lounge. Now, I guarantee many people watching this will know CSGO Lounge, but not that many people will have actually used it. CSGO Lounge was the website for trading back in 2014 and 2015 because this is what it looked like. You can post a trade with the items you had and then select what item you wanted and then talk to people who commented on your trade. People could give you offers, you could give them counter offers. It was basically a great tool for trading back in the day. For example, this guy wanted to trade his Huntsman just for liquid keys, and this guy wanted to trade his Karambit Fade, very expensive back then, for a bunch of cool skins. I'm sad to see we don't really have a use for a website like this anymore in CS, because now it's just cash trading. It's not that much item for item trading, so CSGO Lounge kind of fell out of the spotlight, and unfortunately, right now, I don't think it even works anymore. Next website is one I already mentioned, CSGO.exchange. Now, CSGO Exchange is probably the most important CSGO database that we ever had for skins. Exchange and CSGO Zone both had similar features, but Exchange was by far the more known one. At the time, Exchange's database was insane, with a lot of features that still to this day aren't replicated well. One of the things that still doesn't exist today was Exchange's souvenir package tracker and sticker capsule tracker, and I think they even had like a unapplied sticker tracker. These are things that today aren't replicated good on any of the major databases. CSGO Exchange's inventory valuation tool was also much better and accurate threat than others at the time, and I actually have a fun story with their leaderboard of top most expensive skins. Because one happy day, I was actually the #1 most expensive leaderboard on CSGO Exchange, meaning back then I had the most expensive inventory in CS, and I have proof of it, which is pretty cool. So according to Exchange, my inventory was 370,000, which is absolutely crazy. A lot of cool memories here. Next, we're talking about Reddit, specifically Global Offensive Trade. Now, Global Offensive Trade is still available. It's not dead, but like I said, trading item for item isn't as big of a thing anymore, so the usability of it has definitely dropped off a bit. I remember like 10 years ago, I was sitting on Global Offensive Trade Reddit and helping people price check their items, asking people about trades, checking if skins are rare here and there. It was just really cool. Other than Lounge, probably the best way where traders connected when you traded item for item. In the Reddit days, no one really knew the set prices and everyone had wiggle room and everyone could do a deal here and there. It was much more open and much more fun. And finally, the last but not least, very important site for CS trading is, funny enough, Facebook. Now, you might think Facebook is a weird website to mention when it comes to trading skins and CS history, but this was actually a super useful tool, just like Reddit or Lounge, for traders to connect and get deals done. Back like 5 to 10 years ago, this is what I used to do on the Facebook trading pages. I would have my inventory screenshotted and I would basically post this as my store to different Facebook pages. People would DM me and they would say, hey, I want to buy this butterfly knife knight for 245 euro. Ah! Butterfly knight minimal wear was more than a classic knife vanilla. But yeah, this is how prices were back then. Don't get surprised. It was also another very useful tool for traders to find people who were interested in trading, and even better, have them be from the same country as you, so they could have your country's payment method. For example, a lot of people in Sweden would use Swish, which is like a Cash App, but for Sweden. This brings me back to the days where you were struggle trading and flipping for just very little profit, just to try to build your inventory bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, Facebook for me has kind of fallen off, and I don't really feel it's super worth to post there for me. I just use these automated websites to buy and sell, and it's a lot easier. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this was a nice trip down memory lane for some of the best and most legendary CS sites that may be forgotten. And yeah, now I'm going to go be sad in a corner because of all of these memories coming back to me. Oh, bam!